Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. आप देख रहे हैं Altered State with Jamie Season 2 और आज के मेहमान हैं एक बहुत ही talented actress Shreya Dhanwanthary who in 2020 portrayed real-life economic journalist Sucheta Dalal in the award-winning hugely popular web series Scam 1992 The Harshit Mehta Story. आपने उन्हें Amazon Prime का हिट The Family Man में भी देखा होगा और अलग OTT प्लेटफॉर्म्स के सीरीज में as well as in her film debut, the Imran Hashmi starrer Why Cheat India. I really enjoyed talking to Shreya in this episode because it was so refreshing to see a performer speak their mind about their craft, their struggles and insecurities, and what getting the chance to act really means. Ladies and gentlemen, in conversation with Shreya Dhanwanthary. Shreya, thank you for taking out time to come on the show. Drum roll, dum, 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 dum. Welcome. How are you?
I am good, Jamie. Thank you for having me on the show.
Lovely, lovely. Very nice to speak to you. And e-meet, as they say. Of course, Scam 92 award-winning show. I think it's been ranked. What was I seeing? The highest ranked IMDb.
Yeah, I think we just got the news like a couple of days ago that it's.
I think so. Yeah. And of course, The Family Man Season 2. We didn't get to see as much of you in it but we get the role, and we hope that there'll be a lot more. How has this last 1 year been for you, professionally at least?
Thank you for mentioning that because the other will be a therapy session. It's very weird to sort of have like your career best sort of a year up until now at least, when the whole world is sort of burning and going through a lot of collective trauma. It's weird to sort of be happy and celebrate it, especially because the lockdown, again, for some people, I know this hasn't happened for a lot of people, but for some people, myself included, who've gone through a lot of like personal changes, priorities and perspectives have shifted permanently. So in terms of that as well, it feels, bittersweet would be a way to sort of describe it. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I was reading an article which you'd written on this same topic, and you said it was a part about when there was no work for about a year, and as so many actors and professionals have to go through these periods. And then you said, how and why I decided to persevere is the gist of another article. That a lot of lines from the article stuck with me, but that one particularly. Actually, not in depth, but could you perhaps elaborate on that a bit, what you meant?
See, because the most common question all of us got asked during the first and second lockdown is that how do you deal? What are you doing in this time, and what are you doing with your the lack of paychecks coming and your idle mind and all of that? But again, if you are in this business, if you are in the field, you're going to be used to a long bouts of unemployment, long bouts of not being paid. You don't like a lot of uncertainty in general. So I feel like our industry has prepared us to deal with this, with not knowing what's going to happen and not like on being on shaky ground in general. And because again of the industry and the fact that we're still here despite having faced years and countless rejections, if you don't have the sort of the perseverance, I don't think you would last long anyway. Because let's face it, I'm going to say something really brutal. I don't know how much your success in this industry depends on talent. There are a lot of other factors that come into that, talent being a bonus.
Yep.
If you are talented, thank God, great. That's great. You'll last longer. But it comes down to a lot of factors, and the number one factor actually is just perseverance. So, yeah. That's the short bulleted version of that.
I can understand to a fairly large extent what you're saying. Picking up on the perseverance aspect, Shreya, when you decided to make the move to Bombay, I know it's Mumbai, but from people from my era, I'm Bombay bowling to school. Um, what kind of support did you have from family, from peers? Because like you said, you underlined, you've just touched upon the topic. There's a lot more, and we don't want to get into all that. But what kind of hopes, aspiration, did you set plans? Did you have a target? What was your experience when you landed up?
Well, again, see, I usually when it comes to discussions or interviews, I feel like I'm not a very inspiring person because I feel like I give some. My answers are really funny and shitty, and like in the sense of I'll tell you why. The thing is, my parents had told me that this is something that they have absolutely no experience with, and the entertainment business is seen as like the big bad. So they're like, listen, we don't know anything. Our responsibility is till your education. Anything beyond that, you'll have to prove, right? So I'm like, okay, I've got to prove. This is like my, my luck. I'm going to, do this without asking you for money and all that. But then as time went on, and there's a lot of disillusionment that sets in. Again, like rejection after rejection. And there are always going to be several other people who are more who have better cards. Again, not necessarily with training or knowledge about films or anything. Not that that's even required. No. People have like a lot of other things that push them ahead in the so-called game, right? So you tend to get disillusioned with things like that. You tend to sort of compare, even though that's like the biggest thing you mustn't do.
Yeah.
So my reason, again, the short answer for your question, my reason is the more time I spent, I felt like I was going into quicksand. I was like, okay, shit, I'm giving this more time. But now I think I'm becoming useless for the rest of the world because I've given this so much time. So I might as well stick in this, So it's again, the nicer word for that is perseverance. But the truth of the matter is that I was shit scared of going out into the world and realizing that I wasn't equipped and that my experience and my resume would just be like some 5-7 years of absolute nothing, So I thought, okay, you might as well have given this that much time. It's a sunken cost theory in economics, which they tell you is not really good, but that's what I mean. I mean, I'm trying to paint myself in a better light by calling it perseverance. It's literally realizing that I may not be talented for anything else.
When I love how brutally honest you are in your assessment. In such time, did you have a sounding board? A person or people you went to? No?
No, because see, again, parents, they're very like soft and sweet. They're made out of like clouds and cotton and things like that. And if I tell them, that this is what I'm facing, I took an Uber yesterday, so I can't afford dinner and shit like that, all of which has happened. So I never took it anywhere. And I think because even in engineering, because I was in a hostel for 4 years, I don't know, I think it's a formative experience in a way where I thought if this is something that I should do, I should be able to deal with it on my own. It's not particularly healthy. It's not at all healthy. It's not at all healthy. But no, I don't know. I don't have a habit of sharing my burdens because I feel like everybody's going through their own shit, and I don't want to sort of add my crap onto theirs.
Makes sense.
This has become a therapy session without us talking about the crap, Jamie. I mean, come on.
Let's get into. I'm gonna say scam because that is the one that you went boom, bilkul, right? And I believe that Hansal Mehta sir, also this is what you've written, that he really tried. He worked hard and he wanted you for that role. What was that about? How did you land the role?
It really is heartening, yeah. Because I mean, both Pratik and I weren't names. We're still halfway there, but we weren't names at that time, and that it becomes like a saleability thing, right? Again, this points out to the earlier thing that I was talking about. Talent has very little to do with it. They talk about marketing. They talk about number of followers and how you can like package the thing, which again I'm so glad Scam did what it did because it basically broke every single thing that people thought you had to do. Like it literally shifted the paradigm of the idea of, okay, you should have these names, should have this subject matter, it should contain this, it should not be so verbose, it should not be so long, it should not be so like niche, it should not be on a certain particular platform. It shattered all of that. And I'm really, I tell this to Hansal and Jay a lot, that anything that happens to me from now is literally because of you guys.
Wow.
But yeah, it's that came about because Indu from Mukesh Chabra's casting company gave me a call to audition for Hansal Mehta. He's doing a web series about Harshad Mehta. It's based on Sucheta Dalal's book, and we're looking for Sucheta Dalal. I'm like, oh, that's massive. Let's. So I was really pumped up, and I love Hansal's work, so I really wanted to work with him. Definitely. So I went to Mukesh Chabra's office, and I saw when I walked in, they usually have like a wish list, right? Like a board where they put the names and the pictures and the photographs of the actual person and the hopefuls or the people that you hope for. There was 10 names against Sucheta Dalal's picture. My name was not on there. Achha. But there were 10 names, and all of those 10 names were women I greatly admire and look up to. And these are the talented ones. So I'm looking at these names and I'm like, oh, okay, this is not going to happen. Might as well have fun. That's actually what happened. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have fun.
Wow.
And I don't know, something clicked, I guess.
It worked. And it worked fantastically. But tell me something, Shreya, how difficult is it to play a real person, you know?
I actually thought this would be a challenge that I would take up later in my professional career. I thought, oh, this is something I will choose voluntarily at a later time or whatever. But this is the thing that gave me everything that I will continue to get from now. But because that is something I thought I should work my way towards, right? Because that's a big deal. You're playing a living, breathing person who's as accomplished as Sucheta Dalal is. And I have the responsibility of, having her come to life, and she's going to watch it and she's going to see. I can't even imagine, man. I mean, can you imagine if the movie's being made on you and you're going to be seeing? I'm like, I don't do that. What the hell is she doing with her hand? So it was so, oh my God, it was immense. I don't quite know how I navigated that. I don't, like, when people talk to me, I find it very weird to talk about how I prepared and did stuff, because it feels, I don't know, it feels like I'm taking myself too seriously. I feel
you had a process, of course, too.
Yeah, but it just, like, I feel like we're so lucky to be able to get a chance to entertain people, and to be, I know it's an actual profession, but I feel like I'm just taking myself too seriously when I talk about the process and the methods that I use. I mean, I did what I did, and hopefully people liked it, so that was good.
Absolutely.
She liked it. That was the biggest thing for
me. That's what I was going to say. So good, you brought that in. But see, Shreya, this is also, I'm going to use the word rise here. Your rise at this age, it's also coincided with the rise of the digital OTT platforms. And that's opened up doors, right? Because these kind of, and again, Scam was a breakout show because of the writing, because of the treatment, because of the casting. Pretty much every box you want to tick, Scam ticked it. But it came because other shows have led the way, and now there's been a huge change in the way people are approaching the writing. So this is a fantastic time to be doing what you do, despite the hardships. I know that. I'm not taking that away.
In a way, yes. But again, I'm not going to take away the recent developments that have happened with the INB ministry and the censorship and all that is going to happen from now on. So I don't know. Because OTT was the space where people came to be brave, tell the stories that wouldn't lend themselves well to a silver screen because of the budgets, because of the people pleasing that a bigger screen generally has to do, for an OTT, because even that, technically you're paying for the ticket to see the film. So you should be able to watch what you want. India operates in a very variety way. So
system.
Yeah. So with OTTs, again, to see that also seeping in, I don't know if it will become the playground that it was poised to be. So I hope it continues, because that's the only, it has democratized the whole industry, like not only in front of the screen, with people getting opportunities that normally wouldn't get those opportunities. But even behind the screen, with editors, with writers, there's so much space. Yeah,
Absolutely.
the stadium has gotten bigger. Like I said, the playground has gotten bigger, and that is so cool. If it continues, and if our freedoms are protected, it should be the wonderful thing that it is the world over.
Yeah. Good word you use, freedom. Manoj Bajpayee साहब जिनके साथ आपने काम भी किया है, he had said in one of the interviews, I remember when Family Man season 1 was coming up, and in fact I was talking to Sunny about the same thing recently. And I remember the line which Bajpayee sir said. He said कि यार कब से मैं फिल्में कर रहा हूँ, but ये OTT में घुस के I realized that the camera lingers on you for longer. It might be a second or 5 seconds, but it gives you as an actor so much more to do. Film a cut, move on. And he said, yeah, despite my volume of work, I'm paraphrasing here, I just had a whole different experience getting into this web space. You've done very good work across shows. Is that something which you agree with, that this is not perhaps possible in that system of filmmaking we have in our country?
Yeah, again, it's economics, man, because it's a bigger screen, and the decisions, like I said, are not based on talent. It's based on, again, packaging, presentation. So you need to spend, so you need to spend 15 seconds on the slow motion walk. You need it. You need the 15 seconds for the hair flip. You need the 15 seconds for a guy who throws a punch and everybody else is flying off for like 15 seconds. I mean, if you have 45 seconds getting spent in this, the acting is not going to get the lingering shot. It's not going to. And it makes sense because, again, there is majority of our audience wants to see the slow motion stuff. Not that it's not changing, because, it is changing. But for that change to sort of pervade the entire country in the consciousness, because of how our society is built and how our viewing habits have been formed for the past 30, 40 years. Because I think before that we used to make some really good cinema. But at least with that amount of time, it's a lot of training, for the audience to, okay, listen, you're going to see this and you're going to like this. And then these guys go ahead and blame the audience for liking the same thing they were shown. It's sort of a Ouroboros, I think the snake eating its tail thing. But it's something like that, right?
ये तो bouncer था मेरे लिए, sorry.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm not sure. But it's that, it's in a cyclical nature.
Got it.
So it doesn't. Again, not that there aren't films and there aren't directors who are telling stories like that. Like, I mean, if you have to take some of the Malayalam cinema, that cinema, they are doing the same thing that the web is doing, right? But again, it depends on how you're educating their audience. And I have a lot of very close friends from Kerala. Again, because I grew up in the Middle East, it comes with that.
Okay.
They tell me that I think from the past 15 years, I think the kids or the younger generation of filmmakers and writers and actors got frustrated with the way Malayalam cinema was heading. They took it upon themselves to sort of tell the stories they wanted to see. And they slowly started training the audience to accept these kind of films. And now they're, more in the public consciousness. So it's something that we have to do. But again, ours is a larger Hindi-speaking audience. It's a larger diaspora that they have to affect.
Yeah.
So yeah, Manoj is absolutely right. Yeah, in the web space, you get to spend 10 episodes, give or take a few, on a particular story where every character, if written well, gets a proper arc. Right? So yeah, it lends itself naturally. Again, it's economics. Like, I get why. I understand where everyone is coming from. Again, there's a lot of wisdom that I have achieved in this lockdown. But it's just, I get where people are coming from. I get why decisions are made the way they are made. Do I understand them? Sure. Do I condone them? Not really.
In a certain, I won't say short span of time, but in a compact time frame, you work with someone like Hansal Mehta, and then you work with Raj and DK. I mean, here, but with that common thing of giving you different and consistently entertaining content. What is it like working with them in Family Man?
They're also pretty much the same. So it's funny because I've in the 3 web series, the one that's coming out soon is called Mumbai Diaries. It's from Amazon. So that's with Nikhil Advani. And Raj and DK was Family Man and Hansal Mehta was Scam. And all of them, nobody spoke to me. Like, nobody came up to me and said, listen, Shreya, you should do this, we want that. And nothing. they all relied on me to do what I was supposed to do.
Wow.
Again, that it's pretty cool. And again, there's a lot of fun and humor. A lot of people from the Family Man set have become like my closest friends. And with Mumbai Diaries, it's again, I can't say much, but it was such a frenzied, frantic sort of atmosphere that we had a lot of there was like high spirits there. And with Scam, it's like we were doing 12 pages, and where nobody spoke a single line, right? Like, I mean that in the sense that everybody had paragraphs and pages to speak. Nobody's line was ever just like one word or one sentence. And it was such heavy material. And the way Jay and Hansel and everybody made the set and made the environment for us is that we were dealing with such intense, heavy stuff, but it was always so much fun. It was so much fun. And it was like, I've been lucky.
Wow. Well, we wish you, apart from all the best, we wish you more such fun and more such luck at everything. And it's this has been a blast talking to you, Shreya. Thank you.
Thank you.
We, like I said, I know you have projects lined up which you can't talk about, but I'm sure from a viewer's perspective that you will continue to entertain us. So all the best.
Thank you so much.